Hello, everyone. Oh, I don't know if yes, that's good. Okay. Hi, everyone. Bad lighting situation. I have been in my sunroom all summer. And of course, there's, pretty decent light in there. But then the weather changed and now I'm just out in my house, just like at the bar. Like there's my home behind me. And it's bad lighting. It's great lighting for home, but bad lighting. So I have like my flashlight on for my phone. And it's not great, but it will do. So welcome. It's so great to have all of you here. This is webinar 4 out of 6. I'm so happy to see you guys today. I'm really, really excited to share the information with you today. Today's topic is going to be how to inspire confidence in your clients. This is also a really great webinar for clients as well. If you're a boudoir photography client, this is really great for you too, because it's just really good information to learn. I get this quite a lot from photographers, like, how do you inspire this kind of confidence in people to be comfortable with you? And I have my own tricks of the trade, and I'm just going to share them with you today. As usual, if you have any questions, where I believe we have the chat box on the side, so please feel free to ask me any questions during or after the webinar. Little reminder, we will be doing the live shoot tomorrow, and it will be at 11 a.m., not 12 p.m. You will get to meet Leanne, the hair and makeup stylist that I work with exclusively for Elizabeth Craig Photography. I am going to be photographing a muse tomorrow. She is not a professional model. She is an everyday woman. She loves to be photographed, and I don't know if I know she's been photographed professionally before, but I know she's not a model. What was important to me was that you understand that I have never met her before and I've never photographed her. Time and time again, there's no problem with this. I'm not against it, but when I watch photographers shoot live, when they want their students or attendees to see them shooting, most times, if not all times, they are photographing women that they've photographed a dozen times. And so before they can even like give a command, the muse knows exactly what to expect and what to do. There's nothing wrong with that, particularly if you're trying to put content together for education. That's really great. But shooting live, it was really important to me that I photograph somebody that I've never photographed before, because I really genuinely wanted you to see how I do that. 95% of the time, I only photograph everyday women. I don't photograph models. There are a couple of really amazing model photographers here in Pittsburgh, and they do their job and they do it well. It's not what I do. So I wanted you to be able to see me mess up. I wanted you to see me be a little flustered at times. Like, what do I want to do? I thought that was going to work out, and now it's not going to work out. No, because that's important. I think that photographers think that, oh my gosh, if I mess up, or if like something doesn't work out that I thought it was going to work out, like panic, like they're gonna know that I don't know what I'm doing, and they're gonna think I'm a big fake, and that I just, I'm not a real professional photographer. And that's crazy, because to this day I'll have a post and I'll be like, gee, I thought that was gonna work out. Well, it's not. So let's figure this out. She doesn't know anything about me. She doesn't know anything about how I pose and how I get facial expressions. So we're gonna see all of that tomorrow, and I think that that's really valuable information when you can watch a professional photographer do their thing, and you could just pick up their little tips and tricks. And I think that it can be of real value. So please join us tomorrow. Don't forget that you can go to the website and you can sign up, register for those webinars. It's also in my link tree in the bio of both Elizabeth Craig Education and Elizabeth Craig Photography on Instagram as well. And I hope to see you tomorrow. So today, let's get back to what we're talking about. So we are talking about how I instill confidence in my clients. There's actually 12 things I'm going to go through. Usually I'm like, my 3 steps, my 5 steps. There's 12 today. We're just going to go through them. I feel like it's good information. So here we go. Number one. The number one thing that I do that I am quite sure that all of you have heard that you're supposed to do too is pre-educate. You need to educate your clients before they show up on your doorstep. The best thing the reason why they're nervous specifically is because they don't know, they've probably never done this before. The majority of the people that you are going to photograph have never done this before. And they have no idea what to expect. They have no idea what they're doing. And on top of it, they have to convince themselves that like, you're sexy and you can do this. That could be kind of difficult. I think that's a lot to take on. So the number one thing that I do is pre-educate my clients. My clients also are always, they tell me all the time, like, I just can't tell you how impressive it was and how excited I was that like you told me things that I needed to know that I didn't even know that I needed to know. And I never even needed to ask you a question. You were already, like the information was already given to me. That makes me feel good. That means I'm doing my job. That is your job. Your job is to prepare your clients so that they understand what they're getting into, what to expect, and all the fun that they're going to have with you. So the number two thing now, well, I should say, like, how do you pre-educate your client? Step two, you want to send out a prep guide. I think that I've talked about this several times, but when my clients inquire, they're sent my inquiry guide. When they officially book, they are sent my prep guide. In that prep guide is every single thing that they need to know how to prepare their face and their hair for the day of, which for me is no makeup, and they need to have like their hair blown dry and clean or one day dirty. I do one day dirty with my hair, which is always works for me better. But anyway, it tells them how to show up. It tells them exactly what the steps are going to be throughout the entire shoot. You have to excuse me. My dog is a part of every single webinar, live. You can hear her. I don't know what it is. As soon as I turn on the camera, that's when she starts whining. It's like she has this sixth sense, or it's just that I'm not paying any attention to her and she can't stand it. Anyway, you're going to hear that. There's nothing I can do. Sorry. But my prep guide goes through how to prepare themselves, tips and tricks on how to, like, because I get a lot of women that'll say like, well, I feel a little bloated. I have tips and tricks in there for that. How to prepare your skin, those kinds of things. It has an entire section on how to arrive. Like I said, hair and, you know, face and all of that. It has an entire section there on wardrobe. It has a checklist in there as well to like, you know, 3 to 6 months out, 1 to 3 months out, the month before, and then like a week before, and then like the day before, those kinds of things. My clients show up at my studio 100% ready. Now, they're still nervous, but when they show up, they know exactly what we're going to be doing the minute that they walk in to the minute that they leave. That's important to me. So you need to, whether it's a one page, whatever, it doesn't have to be a big brochure, but you need to prepare your clients. You also need to, number 3, you need to prepare yourself and your space. When I have a client coming in for a session, I'm always at my studio 1 to 2 hours before, because I always have things that I'm bringing in and things that I want to put away. And I might want to clean up a little bit from the day before, from the session a day before. I always have water, and a bottled water, and I have champagne at my studio as well. And sometimes it needs chilled. And anyway, I just get my space prepared. That, and then the night before, and then also the day of, I look up that client and I refresh myself on what they look like, the information that they wanted to send to me, on what kind of a session that they wanted, what wardrobe that they're bringing, what they've pinned on their Pinterest board, those kinds of things, just to familiarize myself a little better. So I also, based on all of that, I'll set up the studio. Like if I know like, oh, she's bringing these clothes, like we're going to need the bed for that, or I want this chair versus that chair. The point is that I try to make me ready for them to walk through the door, so that I'm not working on things whenever I should be paying attention to them. Okay, number 4, this is when you can establish physical contact with somebody, depending on how you do that, you know, not a punch in the face, but whenever you are giving them a hug, you touch their arm, it will immediately take their nerves literally down to 50%. So when my clients when I open the door and I say, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to see you today. I'm so happy that we're finally going to get a chance to meet. And I give them a big, huge hug. And then did you find parking okay? How was the drive in? Are you so excited today? I'm so excited. I saw your wardrobe choices. I think this is going to be so much fun. And that immediately, that physical contact, and then also me letting them know that I'm excited, and also that I'm perfectly relaxed and that they have now entered my domain where I am the lead and I am the guide, instantly, like, you can just see their shoulders like, and that's nice. So don't be afraid to touch your client. I know that there's a lot of people that are like, well, I'm not a hugger. Or there's a lot of people that are like, well, that's kind of weird. No, it's not. No, it's not. Give a big hug. Sometimes whenever I'm doing even, couple shoots, like I always give a hug to both him and her, or her and her, whatever. Like, you just need to make sure that you have to be comfortable around your clients, because they're going to be able to feel if you're not. All right, number 5, you want to have comfort items around, like snacks, beverages. You don't have to offer alcohol if that's not what you want to do, but water, sparkling water, any little snackies. Like I said, I always have music playing as well. I feel like if a client walks into my space and it's either properly cooled or properly heated and the lights are on and there's music playing and all my stuff is put away, like 99% of my clients walk into my space and they go, oh, this is so beautiful. And I'm like, I know, right? This is where we're going to hang out today. Like, we're like best buds today. So just making sure that you have some things around for them. I would also I always encourage my clients to bring a robe and their slippers as well. I do provide robes, but I feel like, there's nothing more comfortable than getting into your own robe that you know. So even having their own little comfort items around are always, I feel like, recommended, and I feel like they work. Okay, so the next one, number 6, is wardrobe excitement. This is really, so when my clients walk into my studio, they're always like this. And I'm like, are you excited? They're like, I am, but I'm also really nervous. That's exactly what every single woman says every single time they come into my studio. And I always say the same exact thing back to them. If you told me you weren't nervous, I would tell you that you're lying. And then we giggle. So number 6 is actually wardrobe excitement, but I'm going to slip this one in there, which I was going to put at the end, and I'll just put it right now. Humor, 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 humor. The minute that you can make a gal giggle a little bit, and you can kind of like, whenever you can get somebody to laugh, like for reals, they kind of calm down a little bit. I'm very self-deprecating whenever I'm with my clients. I think it's funny, and I know that some people think that it's politically incorrect. Don't care. That's what works in my studio. I feel like when they realize that I'm down to earth and that I'm just your normal schmuck, that they're just like, oh, okay, like I can do this. I also do not do my hair and makeup that day. I don't go in looking like I just got out of bed, because I want them to know that they are important to me, but I don't glitz and glam myself up. I dress down a little bit, and I put my hair up in a ponytail. I wear light makeup, because they're coming to my space with no hair done, with no makeup on, and they're in their sweatsuit. And I just feel like me opening up in heels and glam and glitz and, oh my gorgeousness, that just, I don't know. I feel like it inspires a lack of self-confidence. And I just want to be on the same page as them and on the same team. So that's why I do that. So the next thing we do is we go through wardrobe. My clients, hands down, when we figure out wardrobe, it's like everything disappears. All of that nervousness completely disappears. It comes back and we'll talk about it. But at that moment, every nerve that they walked into or they walked in with is like, because now they're like, okay, now I know what I'm wearing. Now, I can get in that headspace. And also when I'm like, oh my gosh, do you see this bodysuit? Oh my God, this is going to look so amazing on you. I can't wait. In fact, we're going to do it on the couch. When I get excited and I'm like, yes. Then they're like, yes, I brought the right stuff. Like, this is going to be so awesome. Like, I got it right. You know, they're very excited to get it right. Next, number 7 is that so I have a hair and makeup stylist. I've talked about her before, Leanne. She is licensed in both hair and makeup. My clients are with her for about an hour and a half. I know that I could get her to do everything in an hour. I don't want to. I don't want her rushed. I don't want her sweating to get this done because I don't want that energy to fill my space. I don't want my client to feel like, okay, well, we're just assembly line here. Get them in, get them out, get them in, get them out. I want Leanne to feel relaxed, not only for my client, but also for her. She's very creative. She is mostly a wedding hair and makeup stylist. And although that does come with a level of creativity, with this being a little, you know, it just boudoir and editorial, like it's a completely different monster. And I think that, and she knows this too, that she is free license. We talk about concepts. We talk about what we think is going to look best with hair and makeup. And ultimately, you know, I'm of course, you know, the person that can do this. But I trust her and she knows that, and I want her to have a good time too. And I don't want her to feel rushed. I don't like feeling rushed. I know a lot of a lot of photographers will do, you know, 2 and 5 shoots in a day, and God bless them. I don't have to, and I don't want to. So I want to enjoy myself too. I don't want to be an assembly line, and that is why I do 1 shoot a day. I want Leanne to enjoy herself. I want to enjoy myself. If I do not make Leanne feel like she's on a time clock, then neither does my client. And it is important to me that my client get that time, not only to sit, relax, sip some champagne, get comfortable, get pampered, and just be, because that's part of my experience. But it's also important that you spend a lot of relaxed time with Leanne, because Leanne stays with me throughout the duration of the shoot. And she assists with wardrobe, and she's, you know, always looking at everything that I'm doing and looking at the client, not because she's judging the client, but because she's seeing if the hair is set right. And if there's anything that she can do when the client is set up to make her look better. You know, sometimes she needs a little touch up, hair needs to be fluffed a little, whatever. So it's important to me that they spend some time together and that they bond. All right, number 8, you probably heard me say this before. I have a big talk with my clients after they get dressed in their first outfit. Now listen, by this time, we're like, oh my gosh, like look at your hair and makeup. And I mean, that's legit, okay? And they're just feeling so sexy and so beautiful because they have now had their hair and their makeup done professionally, and it's go time. I have them put on their first outfit because they're going to feel so good and so ready. But as soon as they do that, much like whenever you are on your wedding day and you put your wedding dress on, everything's great till you get the wedding dress on. And then it's like, this is happening. It's the same thing with boudoir photography. As soon as my clients put on their first outfit, they feel so good and they walk out and they're like, this is happening. So this is the moment that I have my talk with them, which is basically, first of all, I don't expect you to know what you're doing because you've never done this before. And even if you have done this before, it's not your job. It's my job. So I let them know that I am in charge from here to the tips of their toes. They do not have to worry about a thing. I'm going to be in charge of the posing, be in charge. I walk them through facial expressions, and I have a talk with them about allowing themselves to be vulnerable with me, and just to let their walls down and not feel silly, because the only women that can't connect with me and can't really get there are the women that just can't get out of their own heads. Like, I am standing in a studio looking at a photographer that I just met 2 hours ago, and I need to look at her like I am trying to seduce her. No. So I talk with them about like how to get there and how and the only way that they're going to get there is to be vulnerable and to let their walls down and just understand that, like, this is what I do for a living. And if you do what I tell you to do and you don't fight me on it. You just do what I say. You're going to love your photos. And they're like, I got it. I can do it. Like, okay. As long as, and most of the time, all they want to hear is that you are going to be in charge and that you're going to tell them what to do. Because, I mean, you would think that like clients would know, like, well, clearly, you know, they know I'm in charge and I'm going to tell them what to do. But all of them walk in and they're like, I don't really know how to pose. I don't really. And then you're just like, no, really? You've never had a boudoir photography session before. Of course you're not going to know. I'll take care of that. So really all they want to hear is that you are in charge and that you are going to take over and that you are, you're going to help them look their best. And then they're like, all right. So let's see. Number 9, shoot and share. I shoot and share. I like to photograph my clients and then I will show them photos as I'm going, because if you're a boudoir photographer, then you know that sometimes the poses that you put people in, they're just like, there is no way this is going to look good. And then they see the back of your camera and they're like, oh, I'm so beautiful. I'm so gorgeous. I can't believe I'm doing this. And all of them say, I can't believe that's me. And then I get to say like, but it is you. Because you're looking at a 2x3 screen of unedited photos on the back of my camera. That's you. I didn't do anything to it, right? And that's whenever they're like, I got this. And you can just see like the click in their mind when they're just like, oh my gosh, like I finally, like I didn't know if I could do this. But I can. I'm just so excited. And then that's when the shroud of like, I am so sexy comes over them. And you will get a changed woman standing in front of you for this. Trust me. All right. Number 10. This I have in all capital letters. Put your listening ears on. Give direction. Talk to your client. Give them positive affirmations. I can't tell you the amount of clients that I've talked to or other people that I've talked to, you know, they said, oh, I did a boudoir shoot, but it was so uncomfortable. And I'm like, why? And they're like, well, the photographer never talked. Like I had no idea if what I was doing was, I mean, she would put me in a pose and then I just had no idea because she just didn't say anything. And it's just like, you have to talk. I have gone to workshops where I'll watch the photographer who's the mentor in charge, and like they never stop talking. And that is one of the best things that you can do is constantly talk to your client, because while they're listening to you, they're forgetting to be nervous. They just want to do what you're telling them to do, and they just want to know that they're doing it right. That's all. So when I photograph, it's always like, toe up on your left, kick your hip out, chin up a little bit. That's it. And then this is looking amazing. Oh my gosh, Sarah, wait till you see these. These are so gorgeous. That's it. You're doing a great job, Sarah. You're doing so fantastic. Yeah, exactly like that. Can you take your chin a little to your left and then down, look down at the floor? You got it, girl. That's it. Yep. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Wait until you see these. You're absolutely going to love them. You have to talk to your client, because if you don't talk to them, then they're just going to make things up in their head. And I can tell you right now, it's not going to be good things that they're making up in their head. So if you're like, but I can't do that, I don't know what to say, figure it out. Figure it out, because your client is immediately going to go like this. And that's all. And then you're just not going to be able to get them to relax. That's up to you. That's your job. Number 11, you can take a break and have a snack. You don't have to keep rolling. I had a client one time that we started, so I did all the things that I just told you that I do, and she seemed great. And we started photographing the first outfit, and probably 5 minutes in, she was like, I just need a break. Like, I'm not feeling comfortable, and I'm feeling overwhelmed. And I was like, absolutely. Like, I called the corner shop down the street. I had sandwiches delivered. And sometimes it's really just food too. If you have photographed boudoir shoots before, then I'm sure you are completely familiar with the fact that most women are going to show up with absolutely nothing in their belly, because they don't want their belly to be poofed out. So sometimes it's really just food and they just need some. That's why I always keep snacks in my studio, because I've had women get dizzy before because they didn't want to eat. So you want to make sure that like you can take a break. You can say like, girl, whatever you need, that's what we're going to do. Why don't you go put a robe on, grab your champagne, come over and sit on the sofa, and we'll just chat for a minute until you feel like you're ready to go. And then usually within, well, I shouldn't say usually because that's only actually happened one time. But I think it was within, I called down, I got us sandwiches. I had a feeling that she was a little hungry. She ate, and like a half hour later, we were good to go. I don't care if it's I don't care. Like I said, I only do one session a day. So for me, that's easy. You may do more than one session a day. So you may not have that kind of time, but I'm perfectly fine with it. But just the point is that if your client needs to sit down for a moment and just take a moment, it's okay. Offer them a bottle of water, another glass of champagne, a little snack. They just want to know that they're not a big doofus because they just needed a break for a minute, and that's okay. Humor, which I've already said, but that is by far one of the best things that works for me, is just being humorous with my clients. I'm very down to earth. I can't fake it. That's just who I am. In fact, if you saw me live at all this week on Instagram, then you would have seen that, like, I didn't even shower. Like, I had like mascara underneath my eyes. I don't care. We're all like that, girl. We're all on team girl, right? So those are my 12 tips to getting your clients to be a little bit more relaxed. One of the best things, or one of the biggest things that you can do, and I know that this is hard, but you got to fake it till you make it. Your clients will know if you don't feel confident. And that's usually in the form of you stuttering and not getting words out and just not talking if you're super quiet. That's going to make them feel like you're not confident. And if, good golly, if you're not confident in what you're doing, then how are they supposed to be confident in what they're doing? And like I said, I know a lot of times you just got to fake it till you make it, but you just fake it. You just got to fake it. So I feel like these are really great tips. If you have any questions or comments or anything you want to add, I'd love to hear it. Okay, so last little bits of information. Please take some time and go to the website, elizabethcraigeducation.com. There you will see some lovely free content there. We have blog posts going up once a week. We have a newsletter going out once a week if you'd like to sign up for that. As I have started this webinar with, we do have a live shoot tomorrow. And then on Thursday, we have our final free webinar where I'm going to talk about confidence in you. Today was for the client. Thursday is for you. So if you would like to sign up for that, again, you can do that on the website, elizabethcraigeducation.com. You can also do that on the Instagram. Elizabeth Craig Education is there as well. And let's see. Oh, final word on this is what, not final actually, because I'll probably say the same thing tomorrow and Thursday, but final today. If you decide that you would like to sign up for the 10-week course and you would like to do it like this round, then you need to make sure that you are signed up, and whether you choose the payment plan or you choose to pay in full, that is up to you. The last time that you will be able to do that is October 28th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you do not sign up and register by then you will have to wait 3 months until we launch the second one, the second 10-week program that's coming out. I feel like that's all I needed to say to you guys. I hope that this was so helpful, and I really, 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 really hope that you tune in tomorrow because it's going to be a lot of fun. So you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for stopping by to say hello. And again, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them here. It doesn't have to be during the live. It can be anytime. You can also email us at hello@elizabethcraigeducation.com. You guys have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow in my studio.